My recent win is that my first time just pitching a new idea, I was able to land a client.
So my big win was that I actually sold one of my strategy sessions.
My big win was starting the 5-day challenge to sell a $100 offer, which I managed to do by day 2.
As a member of the Your First 5K Club, I have surpassed 5K.
I've been sitting on a lot of content for a while, just trying to figure out how I could start to even create content or create an offer or just do anything with all this information that I gathered. And it was just, I couldn't find the right on-ramp for myself.
How did you know to do the challenge?
Just followed the steps that you laid out and started in the most obvious place and then just did the actions you told us to do. It was just kind of like, we make things so complicated for ourselves. And so that's what I loved about what you're offering. It's just very simple to follow.
On that second day, when you talked about talking to your audience, I don't have an audience. And so I'm just going to wait till day 3 to learn about how to build your audience from scratch. And then that night I said, wait a minute, no, you have an audience. You have 600 people or so on LinkedIn. So that's what gave me the courage to actually post on LinkedIn to that audience. And it was scary, but it was the best way for me to break free actually from that kind of chokehold of I'm still that person. I'm going to go back to that life. I'm going to go back to being that person. I am a new person. I'm on a new path.
What was so important to me was that I wanted to learn really how to create my own GPT. Right. And so inside of the membership, it was like, when you go to annual, you get all these bonuses. And in my mind is constantly going. So I was like, what can I do to elevate this particular offer? You suggested 100, I did $150. And I was like, okay, how can I make this offer have more legs? And so what I did was I created this custom GPT called the Bio Glow Up. I call her Glow, right? I followed your instructions. I gave it all this good information to be able to push back the outputs that I wanted. And so not only did I make it to be able to do it as a done for you service with a client, and they get a 90-minute session with me, but I also made it as a downsell. I was like, what happens if they don't buy during this period? I was like, let me see if I can interest them in them being able to do it themselves. So I feel like there was so many different wins, different levels to the win.
If I remember correctly, you sold $160 worth. Did that surprise you?
It surprised me.
And had you done that before? Is that why I'm assuming you hadn't? Wait, let's talk about that.
No.
You hadn't done it before? So,
no.
Wow. But you have an Instagram account?
Yeah.
So you know how it works. And then how did you get to that offer?
Your GPT.
Yeah.
Your GPT tool. So I put in all of the things. I think I only answered 2 or 3 questions. I was stumped on a couple of them, but I put it in, and one of the main things that was the quickest and easiest and most efficient for $100 was the Instagram bios. And so I'm like, okay, I'm trusting the process here.
Yeah, it worked. How did you make 5K in this membership? What's the big picture?
Honestly, watching what you've been doing and seeing you work has inspired me to actually get some work done.
The first thing you talked about was the lab framework. That just cracked my brain open because I just couldn't put it together to just focus on one person, one problem, create one solution, and then sell it for $100. It's just that simple.
Also, just to stop feeling like I am unable to do this, right? So all of your work with imposter syndrome. And I've had other coaches as well who've done a great job. And it's always been myself that I've always been the bottleneck in my success. And once I was in your group where there's just value after value after value that you're adding, as well as the other people in the group talking to one another and encouraging one another, it was harder to not do the work after I'd already started doing some of the internal work that I've done.
Yeah. So I just focused on one person out of the many that I felt that I could serve. And I thought of what's one problem that person might have? And then what one solution that I can offer for that? And can I charge $100 for it? Yes.
I love it. And the answer was yes.
The answer was yes.
I just love your offer. It's so needed. And what I love too about it is that it takes from your lived experience. What do you say to people who say, I can't charge somebody $100, $200, $300 to have a one-on-one call with me?
You absolutely can and should, right? You have the expertise. You're the person who has studied everything to be able to learn the information that you're imparting. And you need to value your own time as well as the effort that you're putting in to provide the service.
I think we automatically say, nobody wants this. You put yourself at a disadvantage because how do you know that they don't want it if you've never asked them? So I think the thing is not to overthink it, to make the ask, and then to ask the person too, because all of that you can use to make your offer better.
I will say this, it's a 5-day challenge. And most people, I don't think, do it in 5 days. And I will say that honestly, so that people don't feel the pressure to do it in 5 days.
Yes.
I did it in 12 days or 10 days, I think, so it was 12
Absolutely.
days. So it's not a race. You can go at your own pace. You can, get the understandings as you go along. There's a lot of content, a lot of helpful educational pieces that you have in there that, you pick and choose what's actually, do the 5 days. That's the best way to learn. But then there's so much extra content that if you need to learn more about AI to do your offer, there's so many opportunities to do that. And you just keep it jam-packed with information.
This is more than 100x return.
Exactly, right? And so because of that, it also made me want to dig in some more. And again, I'd done some work on myself to make sure I was ready to do the work. But I've been the most engaged in a community, in this community, than I've been anywhere, in any other community.
And you probably paid more for that.
And I have paid more for every other community I've been in.
If somebody is feeling imposter syndrome or they're feeling scared, I want them to borrow some of your confidence. Where do you get your confidence from?
When the insecurity really rises and those voices are really loud in your head saying you can't do, no, you cannot do this, you can't do that, just have a conversation with them and say, thank you, but I'm going to try anyway and see what happens.
Oh,
so that's
wow.
Yeah.
I've never heard that before.
Practice. Practice, right? A lot of times when you hear no, you can be very defeated and you can take your coins and be like, oh, I'm, my marbles and I'm going home. I'm going to cry. But the more you do it, the better you get at it. And the more you say the investment is 100, the investment is 500, the investment is 1,000, it just gives you the confidence. And when people say yes, right, that first yes, that's what I think is so important about the challenge, is that you're not going in with an offer that's 5,000. You're going in with something that's really manageable, really affordable, and someone can say yes to something that's 50, yes to something that's $100. And that yes should now give you the energy to now go and get more yeses, right?
100%. 100%.